What's going on, bottom line viewers and NFL gamblers? It's Mitch back here with another week of NFL best bets. It is week number 5, and I'm here to give you my favorite picks this week versus the spread, and of course, the teaser of the week. We are back again with not just 5 picks, but 6 versus the spread. Last week, in week number 4, we went 5-2 overall. 4-0, undefeated so far in the teaser. Can we keep it up? 14-9 versus the spread and 18-9 overall, hitting at about 67% on our best bets this season. You can check out more gambling content from myself on my Patreon. Subscribe to Patreon for weekly previews, my weekly bets that I actually put my real money on, and get my inside process for what I'm doing each and every week when it comes to the NFL. So check out Patreon. And before I give you my favorite picks this week versus the spread, make sure that you do spike that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more bottom line view best bets, and get in that comment section and let me know which game is your best bet this week. The first best bet of week number 5 is Thursday Night Football. I'm taking the LA Rams on the road in Seattle as the favorite. -2.5 over the Seahawks. I like the Rams in a bounce back divisional matchup here after losing to one of their divisional foes a week ago, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I was disappointed in the Rams' performance last week, but it made a lot of sense because they just beat the Super Bowl champs. They were riding high. Everyone's calling them the best team in football, which they might still be, by the way, but they didn't perform to that level and never were really in the game completely. I just don't think mentally they were there. They were not mentally focused, and I don't expect that to happen 2 weeks in a row versus a divisional team with Sean McVay as their head coach, who currently, in my opinion, might be the best coach in the league right now. Matthew Stafford is still playing good football. Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson, Robert Woods, you know who those guys are? They're weapons that the Seahawks can't cover. The Seahawks have a horrendous back end, a secondary that can be taken advantage of with the right arm of Matthew Stafford. He should see 300 yards in this game. They should easily move the football on not just a bad pass defense, but a bad collective defense as a whole. This isn't even close to the Cardinals defense from a pass rush perspective, and the Rams can run the ball on a Seahawks defense that's been one of the worst in the league at defending the run. Trust me, Henderson is a legitimate back, and he can rush for over 100 yards in this game as well. So complete balance for the Rams offense should keep Russell Wilson on the sidelines, and when Russell Wilson gets on the field, it's not going to be easy for him. Now, it might not be as difficult as last year, as the Rams were the best defense in the league and completely dominated Russ Wilson last season, but it's not going to be easy either. He's traditionally struggled versus Aaron Donald and this front, and I don't really think he's going to be able to move the ball up and down the field even at home here on Thursday Night Football. The Rams are in a big spot here. Primetime lights. I think they rise to the occasion, and they win quite handily due to a great performance by Matthew Stafford and their offense. Give me the Rams -2.5 to win and to convincingly cover. My second best bet of the week is the Carolina Panthers -3 over the Philadelphia Eagles. In some spots, it still might be -3.5 for the Panthers. Regardless, I like it. I love the Panthers. I think they're a tier above the Eagles, maybe 2 tiers above the Eagles. I'm not a fan of the Eagles. I think their offense, sure, they moved the ball on the Chiefs. I think a high school team could move the ball on the Chiefs. I'm just being honest with you. But the Eagles offensively lack balance. They lack a running game. The Panthers have been very good rushing the passer, and they've been very good in coverage overall this season defending the pass. Yes, the Cowboys were able to gash them in the run game, but the Eagles can't do that. They simply don't want to run the ball for some weird reason. Miles Sanders barely touching the ball, and Gainwell is more of a scat back. So that's not really going to be the direction or the way that you want to attack a good Panthers front seven with Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick on the edge. They'll challenge this offensive line and Jalen Hurts, who's a mobile quarterback, an athletic quarterback who likes to run around and buy time. Well, this Panthers front is very athletic, young, fast, and I just don't see him having a lot of time or being able to outrun these guys up front consistently. Then you look at the offensive side of the football for Carolina, and I think they've consistently put together good game plans. It was a little rough versus the Cowboys in spurts there, but they eventually figured it out. I think Sam Darnold has been playing fairly well in this system. Joe Brady, I have a lot of faith in to have a good performance here and put together a good game plan versus an Eagles defense that has been very bad really since losing Brandon Graham and very bad in most facets of the game. I expect DJ Moore to again have a huge game, and Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, they will get more involved. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is a massive loss. I think that is a little bit overrated. I'm not going to say it's completely meaningless, but it's a little bit overrated here. I think the Panthers have a bounce back performance. Something that also gives me confidence is the Panthers have confidence. There's no other reason that they would trade for Stephon Gilmore, a 31-year-old former All-Pro corner. They traded for him because they think they're good. And I don't think the Eagles are good. And I think the Panthers are a playoff team. And if they are that, and they're pumped about getting Gilmore in the building, even though he's not playing in this game, it gives them a short-term boost to be confident in their abilities. So I know that's not a real football thing, but it's a mental thing. And that allows them to focus on this game and win big over an Eagles team that I just don't think is very good. My third best bet of week 5 is the New Orleans Saints as 2-point favorites over the Washington football team. I expected the Giants to hang around and potentially even pull off the upset over the Saints last week, even in their return to New Orleans and the Superdome. This week, I expect a bounce back from Sean Payton's team. Why? Because I think Sean Payton has a major advantage on the offensive side of the ball here from a coaching perspective. Jack Del Rio's defense and his scheme has been horrific this year. They have a ton of talent, but it has not lived up to expectation to the point where the Atlanta Falcons move the ball up and down the field versus them with a bad offensive line. The Saints have a good offensive line, and if Jameis Winston is kept clean, he will deliver the football, he will make plays down the field, and Sean Payton will find a way to move the ball on this lackluster defense. On the flip side, I don't think Washington should have won the game versus Atlanta. I thought they were kind of fortunate, even though I was on Washington last week. And I gotta recognize that and shift expectations. Offensively, Washington has been better than expected, but New Orleans has a good, strong defense, especially up front, where they can create pressure versus pretty much every offensive line in football. So I expect New Orleans here in a bounce back spot to come out the winner and to cover just the 2-point spread. Is there anything better than sweating out a win and coming away with cash in your pocket? Because that's exactly what happened to me last week with the Kansas City Chiefs, because for some reason their defense can't even stop the Philadelphia Eagles. But regardless, we covered, we came away with money in our pockets, and that's what you can do at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Right now, use my promo code BLV100, and you have a chance to double your first deposit. That means a dollar-for-dollar match at mybookie.ag. Right now, head over, use that extra cash, and you could bet on Sunday night. The Sunday Night Football showdown between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, two of the most explosive offenses in football. Maybe you want to place a bet on the over. Maybe you like the Bills as an underdog. Maybe you like the Chiefs to win at Arrowhead. But use that extra money, BLV 100, double your first deposit up to $1,000, $1,000 you can utilize on MyBookie. And they don't just have NFL, guys. They also, of course, you could bet on the MLB playoffs or even play a little blackjack. They have a free blackjack tournament that you can enter at MyBookie. So get on mybookie.ag, use my promo code BLV100 to double your funds and double your winnings. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere at MyBookie. My fourth best bet of the week, I'm taking the NFC West underdog. Yes, I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm kind of sensing a trend here in the NFC West. It's probably a good idea if it's more than 3 points to just take the underdog, and I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers plus 5.5 in this game. Hopefully it gets up to 6. I doubt it though, but I'm going to take the 49ers plus 5.5 over the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been arguably the best team in the league. They are the only undefeated team left in the NFL, but that's time to sell. I think this spread is too big. When you look back at this spread 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 3 weeks ago, or in the offseason, this was completely different. I think this was a pick'em before the season started. And what has really changed? I mean, a little bit here and there with our expectations for both teams, but this is a divisional game in the NFC West where the 49ers might be throwing out Trey Lance, but I don't necessarily know if that's a bad thing. Trey Lance could bring on some new creativity from Kyle Shanahan, where his offense has been a little bit stagnant with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, and they haven't really found their rhythm with Jimmy G. Maybe with Trey Lance, it will open up a running game that could really expose a Cardinals run defense that isn't very good. On the flip side, they have advantages in the secondary. With this Cardinal secondary, yes, outdoing expectation, but Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel should get open for the young quarterback to make some big plays down the field, especially if the Cardinals are peeking back in the backfield off play action or trying to overplay Trey Lance's ability to run, where they can really gash them for big plays down the field. On the other side, defensively for San Francisco, they have a very athletic, good defensive line that can create some pressure, can get after Kyler Murray, and what I love about them is the linebacking play from Fred Warner should be able to take away those screens, those quick throws from Kyler Murray that's been so consistent and so successful for them. So this is an NFC West game where these teams know each other very, very well, and that just means it should be very close. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals actually lose this game just because it feels like it's about time they drop their first game. It's not really mathematical, but I do feel like in a division that is so close, so competitive, this is simply too many points to be giving up to a rival. So give me Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers plus 5.5 over Arizona. At number 5, the New York Giants, the G-Men plus 7 in an NFC East rivalry game versus the Dallas Cowboys. And as impressed as I've been with the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, I think 7 is too many points to be giving a Giants team with actually a low-key, pretty good offense now. Daniel Jones is playing very well. Andrew Thomas at left tackle has been excellent. Saquon appears to be back with 2 touchdowns versus the Saints in that big win. Kadarius Toney is an ankle breaker. Kenny Golladay and Daniel Jones seem to have some chemistry. So even without Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, they have a lot of weapons. Even John Ross got in on the action. I think the Giants can move the ball on the second worst pass defense in the NFL in the Dallas Cowboys. Defensively for the Giants, this is the first defense on paper that can take away the run game of the Cowboys and make them somewhat one-dimensional. I'm not saying they're going to completely shut down Zeke or Tony Pollard here, but at least they have big people in the middle where they won't just be run over like the Carolina Panthers. They also have a secondary with plenty of corners to match up with CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper in a way that no team this year potentially outside of the Chargers has been able to do. The Giants defensively uniquely match up well with a good Cowboys offense. I just think the Giants overall as a divisional foe match up well with their rival, the Cowboys. So even though I think the Cowboys likely win the game, I think it's within 7. I think the Giants make it close, and I think there is a chance for an upset if we see some greatness out of Saquon. I'll take the Giants plus the 7. They're playing well. I'm rising on them, and I got them here. My 6th and final best bet of week number 5 is the Tennessee Titans, favored by 4.5 over Jacksonville. I'm going to be quick. I'm going to be simple here. Fade Urban Meyer and the fiasco in Jacksonville. They will not be prepared. They will not be focused on this game, and Mike Vrabel is a good coach coming off a loss. I don't care if Julio and A.J. Brown are out. Take the Titans. Take the Titans. This could be a blowout. Jacksonville, yes, looked better, more competent on offense versus the Bengals. But, man, this is the ultimate spot for the Titans to get right. And I expect it to happen because I don't think Jacksonville wants to play for their coach. He's a joke. So give me the Titans -4.5 as my final spread pick this week. As for the teaser of the week, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills +6, making it +9 on the teaser. If you get the 3, depending, if it's 2.5, then it's 8.5. Either way, cool with either one. And then you go with the Browns up to 8.5 in this game against the Chargers in a game where, yes, I'm a little bit nervous about Baker's shoulder, but I expect them to win the game. So anytime I get a underdog plus the teaser that I think can win the game, I'm going to take that on the teaser. So I like both of these underdogs plus the points to at least keep it close, if not win outright. And that is my teaser of the week, the Bills and the Browns. There it is, guys. My best bets for week number 5. Make sure to head over to MyBookie. Double your first deposit with the promo code BLV100. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. Gronk, spike that like button, and we'll see you next week. Peace.